While we are still trying to recover from the emotional rollercoaster of the 1923 finale, it's already time to shift our attention toward 1944, the next prequel series in the Yellowstone franchise that is already in production. The good news is that it will feature a bunch of characters from 1923, so lots of familiar faces will appear in their older versions. The bad news is that it will be even more emotional than 1923, if that's even possible. Let's talk about it. As you all remember, in the 1923 finale, we saw Jack Dutton and Alexandra Dutton meet tragic ends. Jack was shot by Clyde, and Alexandra died from frostbite and necrosis after childbirth. It would be an understatement to say this changed the entire trajectory of the Yellowstone franchise. The Dutton family tree basically lost its branches in such harsh ways. Yes, Jacob and Cara Dutton survived, but given their age, it's hard to believe they'll play much of a role in the future of the series. Their time on screen seems to have come to a close, which is pretty heartbreaking, but also kind of expected, considering how intense their lives have been. So, no Jacob, Alexandra, Jack or Cara in the upcoming prequel, that's certain. Then there's Spencer Dutton, whose fate seems to be a bit more complicated. According to Elsa's voiceover in the finale, Spencer will live for another 45 years. That means by the time 1944 rolls around, Spencer would be in his mid to late 50s. One might even say it's his prime. We can all agree that's a solid chunk of life left for him. Rumour has it Spencer will be at the heart of 1944, especially since he's set to inherit the ranch from Uncle Jacob and Aunt Cara. Honestly, as a fan of Spencer Dutton, I welcome this idea wholeheartedly, but let me know what you think. However, I have to mention that Kurt Russell is still in talks for a Yellowstone series, so don't be surprised to see him cast as Spencer in 1944. After all, Brandon is still too young to play someone in his 50s, but we'll see. As much as I'm mourning the loss of so many 1923 characters, I'm holding on to the hope that Tiana Rainwater might have a significant role in 1944. Tiana's journey in 1923 was incredibly tough, and after everything she endured, she was given a brief reprieve at the end of the series. She's free now, but has no idea where to go. There was mention of Mexico and California, and yes, there's a high chance she ends up in Mexico, which would explain why Thomas Rainwater in Yellowstone initially believed he was of Mexican origin. Regardless of where she ends up, there's no reason to abandon her story. She doesn't have to be in the same location to have a role in the new prequel series. I mean, she barely had any interaction with any of the Duttons in 1923, so why not have Tiana in Mexico, leading eventually to Montana and later to Thomas in Yellowstone? Plus, let's not forget Elizabeth Dutton, who ends 1923 pregnant and widowed. She's planning to return to Boston after the traumatic events on the ranch, but there's still so much about her future we don't know. She's pregnant with Jack's child, which will certainly impact the Dutton legacy. Even though I'm not sure if Elizabeth herself will return to the ranch, the idea of her child playing a role in the story makes me wonder if we'll see the next generation emerge in 1944. Behind-the-scenes rumours suggest her child may come to the Yellowstone ranch to claim his inheritance, leading to conflict with Spencer's son. Some even claim he will win over Spencer's son, kill his cousin, and claim the Yellowstone ranch. So, in a way, the Dutton family tree will continue through Jack's line. Let me know what you think of that idea. While I'm daydreaming about these 1923 characters transitioning into 1944, I'm also excited about the actors who may reprise their roles. Brandon Sklenar, who plays Spencer, has said he'd love to continue the character's story. He even suggested that Spencer could become a mentor to his son, John, who was born during the finale. I don't know about you, but I'm totally down for this idea. Sklenar said, "I think someone's got to teach that kid how to ride a horse and shoot a gun." And to me, that sounds like a perfect continuation of Spencer's legacy. I'd love to see that unfold on screen. Amina Neves and Michelle Randolph, who play Tiana and Elizabeth, are also excited about returning. They're both on board with aging up their characters to fit the 1944 timeline. And if the actors are already invested, you're halfway through production, in my opinion. We all know actors don't say those things lightly, so it seems like this trio will lead the three main storylines in 1944. The thing about 1944 is that it's set against the backdrop of World War II, a time that affected so many people, including the Duttons. There's a strong chance we'll see both Spencer and his son struggling with PTSD after the war. Both are young enough to participate in the conflict, and Spencer is already a soldier. Of course, even a glimpse into those tough themes was hard to watch in 1923, so I'm sure a deep dive in 1944 will be emotionally devastating. For more weekly updates and analysis on the Yellowstone franchise, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might interest you.